We need to get the outside done before the snow flies. And the third floor is what needs the most work. The floor needs to be done, the walls need to be painted. But I really felt after Lennon had passed that it was my purpose to continue on, to try to change the system in any way that I could. And I realized, well, you have to be the change you want to see in the world. This could be made into living accommodations for people that needed to be here. Like I had said, I really feel it was divine intervention that this house was given to me, and that we were able to do this. And now it's not just me, it's the whole island really has supported us and continues to support us, and it's just sometimes really overwhelming to realize how many people have supported us and how many people have the same struggles as Lennon had, and I as a mother. It was so hard to see when he was sick, and you're so helpless because there's not a whole lot that you can do. When I think of Lennon, I just wish that there would have been a house like Lennon House when he was alive, because I do believe that he needed more care, longer term care. He needed to learn how to live with mental health illness, and he found it really hard to even accept that he had it, and that's part of the disease, the denial of even having it. So I just really miss Lennon, although I do believe that his spirit is still very much alive.
What would have happened if you didn't have this place to come to?
I have a good feeling that I would be dead, or a living corpse basically, and he's stuck in the cycle, and it's not being alive.
Probably either in jail or dead. Most likely, yeah. Because I was getting in more and more trouble every time I ended up on the outside. The survival thing, just trying to, steal to get by, or...
Basically started shooting meth and carfentanil. Ended up on the street in Alberta. Experienced everything from overdoses to, homelessness, frostbite, pneumonia, like pretty well all the stuff that comes with the lifestyle. I've been in jail more times than I would like to even admit.
I always say it was more of a vision than a dream. I always thought about what Lennon needed when he was alive and what wasn't available. And basically, people that are in recovery need a lot of care, a lot of programming, reprogramming their brain to think differently, as well as they need to feel that they belong and that they're loved. Oftentimes you hear of tough love. That concept was really hard for me when Lennon was alive and sick. I always felt like love is not tough. So the residents that come here, they have a real sense of they're home, because some of them hadn't lived in a home for a number of years, haven't had a job. We have a lot of people that were homeless.
Okay, so where are we going now?
Up to the second floor. Yeah, this one here is mine.
But before you came here, I mean, was that something you'd say, I make my bed every night?
Oh,
no?
no, definitely not. Be lucky if I had a bed half the time, so.
What's it like to have your own room?
Oh, that's awesome, yeah.
Why is that?
Well, it's been like a long time since I had like my own room, but it's nice to have my own space. You know, if I want any like quiet time or to reflect or...
Well, what were you sleeping before?
Before coming here, like I was at my grandparents for a bit, sleeping on my friend's couch. So on the street in Alberta for a couple years too, so slept outside, just wherever. Yeah.
Outside?
Yeah, like homeless in Alberta for like 4 years, so yeah, did the whole living on the street and living out of a backpack type of thing for a bit. Like being here in this room and even just like living here in general, this has been the longest that I've lived in like one spot for probably like years. You know, I had like a year and a half clean in 2015. Then relapsed, and you know, I figured at the time, like, you know, I just drink beer and, you know, smoke the odd joint, and, you know, if things got out of control, I'd just get clean again, because I gotten clean for a year and a half. And I was living with my girlfriend at the time, who was pregnant with my daughter, and, you know, I would go to the liquor store. I'd only come home with beer, but like, you know, and then like I'd be running back to grab the hard stuff, and, you know, thought I could like keep that from her and stuff. And and then after a while, I was just basically started shooting meth and carfentanil. Ended up on the street in Alberta. It got pretty bad. Like my physical health was not the greatest when I got back home. Like I got off the plane last January pretty much like half dead. I had like severe drug-induced psychosis, so like it was like hard to even tell what was like real anymore at that point. Like, you know, like this is not something I ever want to do again. Like I was worried that I just like broke my brain and that it would never start working like normal again. Like I thought I'd be like stuck like that forever, because there was like a good chunk of time that like when I was going through like the detox period, like all of that stuff, like it didn't go away like a day or two after stopping, right? Like you know, I had to like hear voices and stuff for like weeks after the actual like stopping using. So I thought I really fried some brain cells there.
I'm in recovery for 22 years, and I remember when I got into recovery, the two counselors that I had were both in recovery. I had other counselors off and on that weren't in recovery the first few years, and I really felt that I could relate better and I could share more openly with those that I knew had the same trials and tribulations as I did.
What was, I guess, what was missing in Lennon's journey that didn't end well for him?
Well, the thing about poor Lennon, you know, addiction is so hard. And he had mental health issues as well. He had schizophrenia. And of all the mental health issues that a person could have, I think that's one of the worst. Our laws basically, if the person doesn't want to take medication, they don't have to. And I think that needs to be changed. And I've said that for a long time, because when he was sick, he didn't know he was sick. He thought everybody else was. And he had psychosis, he had delusions. He would think that people were, you know, he was very paranoid, that people were going to hurt him, poison him. So we did, though, try to get him help, and he had gone to a few different treatment facilities. He went to Homewood in Ontario. But what happened there was he went there for his addiction. If he had went to get his mental health stabilized, then, you know...
Both things.
Both things, yeah. Because both things, like a person is sick mentally, physically, and spiritually with addiction. So all three have to be treated. So Lennon was never given that opportunity because he never had enough support when he was well, when he was stabilized with medication. There wasn't the support out there. But here at Lennon House, we have long-term support. We have long-term programming, and basically when people come here, they are ready to surrender. And what they've been doing thus far hasn't worked for them, so they're ready to just put up their hands and say, okay, my way's not working, what do I need to do to get better?
So again, it's the way you're going to frame the problem or put your attitude behind it. Okay, is this a situation where I can get angry and resentful towards this person for whatever reason that they're doing that? Or can I use this as an opportunity to forgive this person and practice my spirituality in the sense that what can I learn from this situation, right?
God gave you this gift, and what you do with this in life is what you give back to God. And that kind of, hit me, and it all tied together. My name is Joanna. I am 32 years old, and we are in my room at Lennon House.
What's it like here?
I love it here. I feel super grateful. I've never been in any recovery home setting before previously. I'd had a couple stints at Mount Herbert through the course of my addiction, so it was very new. The way that this house is set up is insanely beneficial. It has been for me, and it's wonderful to get to be in community with all these lovely people for an extended amount of time. You get to see their growth and then be able to mark your own growth a lot easier.
How long have you been here?
I have been here for 6 months.
What brought you here? A car.
A car. My sister, actually. I just had enough. I was struggling a lot. And I had tried and failed and tried and failed for a lot of years. And I decided it was a good time to give myself a chance. And I got the opportunity to, so.
Has it been a long time that you were, I guess, fighting things?
Yeah, 20s is when I kind of fell into it, and I maintained floating for a lot of years. With on the outside it looked, reasonably manageable at times, but I never felt like it was, and it came to a point where I was blatantly unable to manage my life. And my sister suggested that I put in an application, and then she sat with me while we did, and here I am now.
So thankful to your sister.
I'm thankful to my sister, yes.
How hard was it not being able to manage things, the way you wanted to?
Incredibly hard and really lonely, which made it harder. I think a lot of people have that. Your addiction tends to isolate you. Even if you're around people, the knowledge that you're an addict is isolating in itself.
From who?
Well, from the universe or God, your family, for everyone, your connections with my books that I like and music and my loved ones. I was disconnected even sitting right next to them because I was not a full human person when I was in my addiction.
So this place has helped you a lot?
I have, yeah, it has. I can't even fully describe the impact that this place has had on me, but I'm grateful and learning so much, and the opportunities that I've had and the people that I've met have been incredible and life-changing, and it's a really beautiful experience.
Are you able to maybe tell me a few of the things that have happened here that you've been able to do that say, this is going to lead me forward?
Yes. Yoga was one of and continues to be something that I'm like studying it now, and that was one of the biggest life-changing things for me. So yoga's been probably the biggest thing.
How often do you go to yoga?
We go 3 times a week, and I adore Charles, and the way he teaches just works for me. So, and I've begun to integrate that into my own daily routine.
The yoga adds an extra component to it where there's can sometimes be more of a work in rather than a work out, meaning that I'm going to ask you to be kind of reflective and connecting with your breath and the mental sharpness and concentration that develops through the practice as well. And then I always end the class with 10-15 minutes of a guided relaxation and guided meditation techniques. And at this time, the residents get a sense of stillness in their bodies and in their minds. And that stillness creates a sort of a space for healing to occur. There's a lot of hurt, a lot of pain and unresolved emotions, and that opening up the space for folks to feel what they're going through is really important. I think the hardest part about this job for me is just the emotional aspect of it. Some days I go home and I just feel emotionally fatigued from just the amount of empathy that I can feel throughout the course of a day, right, talking with folks. Aww. Sorry.
And this is Aaron, our chef.
Hi,
This is
Aaron.
Pat.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
What's for lunch?
We're having sandwiches today. We've got tuna and bacon sandwiches. A lot of people, when they're in recovery, they actually start the recovery process a little bit malnourished just because either they haven't had the time or money to eat foods that provide nutrition for them, or else the active drug use actually uses up more of the nutrients of food. So they end up really malnourished. So it's important that we get those nutrients built back up in their system and that we establish a healthy eating pattern. So we're following Canada's food guide. We have regularly scheduled meals. We're providing lots of vitamins and minerals, lots of different foods, and even getting people to try foods that they maybe have never tried before.
What do you think about doing dishes?
Love it.
Really? Tell the truth now.
No, I'm not a big fan of dishes.
So why are you doing them?
Well, I mean, I like to eat on the plate, so I can at least wash them.
The residents help out with the dishes, and they all have chores that they have to do. Dishes is one of them, and cleaning up food. We're sort of working on a program to get the residents in the kitchen, learning some more like hands-on skills. So we're looking at, how can we increase that sort of work experience element.
Yeah. Are there some people that don't really have any kind of kitchen experience?
Well, we actually have a few people here who have worked in restaurants before, and then we have some people who have probably never cooked a meal for themselves in their lives. So it really we get a wide range of skills. So luckily, some of the people who have worked in kitchens before are there to help support the people who don't have any experience at all. And everybody can use more fiber in their life.
Some days I would sleep under, there was a place where the laundry vents would come out of the buildings, and I'd sleep near that so to keep warm at night and stuff like that.
Just outside?
Just outside, yeah.
In
March, April.
This kind of weather?
Yeah. And then eventually I did relapse again. I was in jail for about 5 months, and then once I got out, I basically started dabbling in drugs again. So I went to detox again. I lasted probably 14 days there, got out, stayed clean for a couple days, relapsed again. But in here I find we're able to deal with a lot of the things that we've went through, the traumas that we dealt with. Because a year is not really a long time. It goes by pretty quick.
When do you think you might be able to leave? I wanted to leave.
I applied for Holland College, and I'm hopefully going to go in for journalism and communications for September. And I'm doing my upgrades next month, and I'm also going to try to get my driver's license. I've already filled out forms for low-income housing and everything like that.
So you think you're good this time?
I really do, yeah. It's different than every other time.
In that?
Because every other time I only had a week, 2 weeks clean before I was back out on the streets, and this time I'm going to at least have 9 months to a year by the time I get out on my own, kind of thing, and dealing with society.
And you need it.
Yeah, it helps you kind of change your brain, the way you think and the way you see things.
We're doing something really worthwhile here, because these individuals had suffered for many years in and out of detox, and then they'd be straight for a few days and then go back into the environment that they left. And so if nothing changes, nothing changes. How are they going to change if they go back to the same environment? They're going to relapse. So being in the country is also very good for these individuals because they're away from downtown.
Joanna's head's in the way. Sorry.
Oh yeah. You got your Steve jacket on.
Steve jacket. Thank you.
We're all about pictures and making memories around here. They take care of the chickens, they clean the chicken coop. We had gardens this past summer. We're looking forward to having more gardens this year. Hello, girls. We get about 18 eggs a day.
While we're here, we all do up like a recovery case plan, right? And mine had quite a few things in there that, you know, I would, like a lot of goals that I would like to accomplish and kind of things I would need in place to get my life kind of back on track. So in order to get everything that I need in order to be ready come the end of my time, you know, I have been busting my ass off every day, you know, putting in effort, and like there's a lot of things that I have to do so that like when the year is up, I'm not just sitting there, you know, shrugging my shoulders and don't know what to do or where I'm going, right? So I do believe that you know, these things do take time, but you know, it's not just like a free ride for a year. So it's been really nice too, because like, you know, I've had a couple of these things come up, some problems or some responsibilities, and you know, it's nice learning how to deal with that in like a safe environment here. You know, like there's a lot of people to kind of bounce ideas off of, and you know, I guess a big thing that my recovery and here, like what Lennon has given me, is like that opportunity, that like little like 5 seconds to just like stop and think rather than just react to situations, because you know that had become second nature for a while. So like I'm not as quick to just, you know, like make crazy rash decisions, or you know, I'm a lot slower to anger than I was, and I just overall feel a lot healthier, and I feel like they're gonna be okay.
This is probably a good place for you to be to get
place.
back into life again.
Oh, fully, yes.
And you're probably seeing some of your friends that were with you leave and
Yes.
make things better for them.
Yeah, and that's fantastic too, is to see what happens outside of the house and still see success on the outside. So it gives me a lot of hope.
Anything you want to say to Dianne while she's here?
Oh, thank you. I hope you know that I'm really grateful and thankful.
I know.
I don't know.
I'm glad you're here too, Joe.
Yeah.
She's doing wonderful. Has done amazing since she's been here. There was a lot of work a lot of challenges, a lot of hardships trying to get this house up and running. But now that it's up and running, and we see the results of Joe and Brennan and many others, it is just so worthwhile. All those challenges were nothing compared to the challenges that most of these individuals have to go through before they get here. And when they're here, I do believe they feel very much at home and have a sense of security, and they know that they're loved and cared for, supported. Yeah, I almost want to keep them.
I know.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Polly. Happy birthday to you.
How old are you, Paul? Come in? 82.
He's been here to support me and have my back through thick and thin, and I appreciate you all, love you all, and yeah, hopefully I can get you back someday.
It's really rewarding to see. And my son didn't get recovery, but I know that he's with us every day here because I feel his presence. His spirit has never died. His spirit is very much alive. And in AA, sometimes you'll hear when people speak about the program and how they got in the program and how maybe a family member had to die in order for them to really see that they had to get recovery or they were going to die too. Lennon, sometimes, you know, when I think of Lennon, he was a very soft, gentle soul and kind. It's just so rewarding to see that this all transpired after his death. And so one of the things that I really wanted was for Lennon to be remembered and that his life had a purpose. He wasn't just a drug addict. He wasn't just someone that had mental health issues. He was loved. He was a brother. He was a son. He was a friend. And you know, he had really good relationships with people, just as these people that live in Lennon House do. But addiction takes all of that away. So it's really rewarding to see the healing taking place in families and children getting reunited with their parents. And I know I have grown a lot from the tragedy of losing Lennon, from the experience of him being sick for the many years that he was, and how hard that was. And when we were in it, I didn't see that as anything positive. I didn't see that anything positive would ever come from that. But now, almost 9 years later, I see that Lennon has, you know, still influenced and will always influence people. The sad thing is we don't have enough room to help everyone. We have a binder full of names from applications from people. Every day we get calls, and it's heart-wrenching that we don't have the beds. I do believe we could have more Lennon houses. One down east, one up west. I really think that that's one of the answers to the gaps that we have in our system.
You talked about some of the successes. What feelings go through you, and what's it like when someone leaves here and you think they're going to be okay?
It's just, the only way I can describe it is, it's just really uplifting and fills your heart to see. And I mean, most times it's very emotional as well, because the people in the house form strong relationships with each other because they're going through the same thing.
What about your sister? How do you think, and I don't want to bring her into this much, but I just wonder how she feels about how far you have come here.
I'm grateful because she tells me how proud she is and how much she's seen that I've grown. I have lots of sisters and a big family, and they're all wonderful and supportive and very proud of me. So this time around, I feel like I came with a sense of humility and that I needed to take everything that was offered here, which I am happily and gratefully doing.
What's the best part of living here?
Seeing everybody, just like yeah, seeing everybody, like their little successes and being able to be a part of it and to watch it happen. I love witnessing other people's joy and happiness and being a part of the other side of their struggle. So my favorite is the community aspect here and how close we get to become, and yeah, watching other people succeed is my favorite.